How's everybody doing out there? You're gonna love this one. It's perfect for today. In my fingers, feel it in my toes, around me. Didn't you remember this movie? Love Actually is all around. Yeah. This is my favorite version of Love is All Around Us. Can you hear it? Feel it in my toes, yeah. Oh. Okay. So, good morning, you guys. I'm having trouble seeing this morning. I don't know. My reading glasses were broken, and so I'm gonna have to find a new pair that I like. I've got this pair here that don't really work, and they're chewed. So they bounced off the bed when Scout bounced off the bed to see who was there and what was going on, and with that, they're broken. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Yeah. Yep. This day brings a lot of expectations or joy or letdowns or any number of things. It was kind of felt like it's just a marketing tool, but in the same token, we should have a day that we honor everybody that we love, and everything that we love, I think. So I want to talk about the planets first real quick before I forget and start rambling. So this is a week of squares, but there's some good stuff coming down the pipeline as well. So on Wednesday, Saturn and Uranus are going to square off. So a lot of times, when I talk about that, when we get hit with an intense square, this is temporary because it's just like rolling in a 24-hour time frame, So if we're mindful of that, then we don't have to have a permanent outcome from some planetary invoked clashing or activity that we can just glide under. We don't need to. If we know it ahead of time and we feel it coming at us, or we feel a confrontation coming, it's just better, like that's the day to just be a stealth fighter, fly under the radar. You know what I mean? Because sometimes if we respond when planets are squaring off, then there's a permanent damage done, right? So we don't want that. But on Thursday, we are leaving Aquarius, the sun sign of Aquarius, and happy birthday, every Pisces out there. Happy birthday. We are moving into the gentle and benevolent sign of Pisces on Thursday. I've always had this theory that Jesus was a Pisces. I know, or from what I've been able to put together from different things I've read and different things I've studied up on, I guess they made Jesus' birthday on Christmas to integrate the pagans into Christianity, the mindset of the pagans into Christianity. And so, because the 21st is the winter solstice, so they tried to kind of combine that. Of course, we weren't going to have it right on that day because that would be too, what's the word I'm searching for? That would be too in compliance with those that worship the earth, right? So, but there is no way that a Capricorn would have denied the deal the devil served up for him, right? So, you know, Pisces are the ones that, you know, they're more benevolent and they're trying to make balance and fairness. And many times, they struggle with like financial gain in that because they have this idea that there's some evil attached to being prosperous too. So now that's not a big blanket statement for all Pisces out there. We want to compliment what's good about Pisces, right? That they are kind and benevolent, and they usually imitate the behavior of that spiritual leader. So we want to stay on the positive. We don't want to pick on anybody, because there's jerks in every sign if we want to get technical about it, and there's beautiful people in every sign, and nobody fits that narrative excuse me, of you know, oh, they're a certain sign, or nobody fits that. They can't, because they have too many other things going on in their chart when they enter this orbit and choose to walk among the mortals, right? That are tests and support systems and goals and setbacks and everything else. So we move into Pisces, and that's going to give a little bit of a softer approach. We'll feel just a little bit more, not feel this intensity. Plus, there's that little underlying current that, yes, you know, we are heading into warmer climes and more positive days ahead, where we are on the mark to track towards spring, right? And then on Friday, Venus and Mars, which Venus is a planet of love and beauty and represents the feminine, and Mars is a planet of action and war and adventure, and which represents the masculine, they're going to square off on Friday. So once again, remember, these are temporary responses. This is a temporary planetary trend. So we don't want to be reactive to that, or say something or do something that would create, you know, permanent damage. Just we can do this. We can pull this off. It's not. We don't have to get, oh God, oh, it's the end of the world. It's not. It's not. You've had fair warning. You can work with it. You're all smart. You know, nobody out there's an idiot. See what I mean? And the best part of this week, we saved the best for last, is Mercury is going direct on Saturday. Whew, thank you. You know what I mean? So after 3 weeks of, after 3 weeks of this weird miscommunication, fender benders, flat tires, blah, 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 you know, you missed your flight, this, that, the other, that's coming to a close. Now, we still, when Mercury goes direct, a lot of times it's sort of like a last-ditch effort, so we want to be really careful, on Saturday, like when we're going to the grocery store or this or that or the other, you know, that we don't roll through a stop sign, or we don't activate the lead foot and get a speeding ticket, or want to be careful in parking lots that somebody, you know, we're backing out, we don't hit somebody, right? But better days are ahead. They're coming, okay? So that's where we're at. Okay, so today is the celebrated day of love, our Valentine's Day. And so for many of you, you're embracing your significant other, and you're finding ways to show them how much you love them and support them. And for many of you, you may not be in sync or in alignment with a Valentine. I saw something this morning on my friend's post that I wanted to talk about. And he said he remembered making a Valentine box. And I don't know if that still goes on in this day and age with kids, but you'd take maybe a Kleenex box or something, whatever the teacher thought would be, workable, right? And then you decorate it with construction paper and cut out hearts or maybe put lace or whatever on it. And that went on your desk on Valentine's Day. And then there was a Valentine's Day party for kids. I'm thinking it still goes on. I don't know. My granddaughter's in junior high now, so they kind of do things differently, right? But so then everybody would go around and put the Valentines into each other's. The kids would do this and make sure that everybody had their, the Valentines they filled out the night before with care, and put them in the boxes. Now, he said that some kids got more Valentines than others. Now, my mother wasn't having that. So you'd get the packet of whatever, 30 Valentines, and sometimes they were, superhero themed or Mickey Mouse themed or whatever. But my mom wasn't having any of that. If you were going to participate, right, with the Valentine exchange, then every kid in my class was going to get a Valentine, whether I liked him or not. And there was one boy who, I don't know, he was wound a little tight. I don't know what was going on in his house that made him so mean, but I'm sure it was something. I certainly wasn't interested in giving him a Valentine, but we did, So I mean, this is something that, it's kind of set and sold to us, right? Since we were little, and so we do the best we can, and it's a good time to take inventory, like where we're at with that, where we're at with our personal exchanges of energy with others, and how we would be integrating a relationship into our orbit. And I think sometimes people, there are stages we go through, like, for example, we go through a divorce, right? And maybe they've moved on rather quickly, and so you could be the one that's kind of standing there going, how can this be fair, or whatever, right? Those are wounds, and I've been doing these readings on people for decades now, and I've seen every angle there is with heartache and wounds, but I've also witnessed the victories, right, that come out of that when they're ready to heal and ready to move on and ready to try it again, right, to accept a love relationship exchange again, right? So and many times I notice that in the beginning stages, many times couples will, there's patterns when we're in a relationship. We have dinner at the same time, or whatever the little idiosyncrasies are of your personal relationship. Once that's severed, it triggers wounds. It's almost like quitting smoking, which I've done years and years ago. You eat dinner, then you're triggered, right? That, oh yeah, I need. No, you don't. You don't. You know. So it's getting used to developing a new pattern at mealtime or in the morning or whatever. So there's like a little bit of a withdrawal in the beginning when a relationship ends, and it hurts. But the more time goes by, the more we adapt to and we center ourselves and we figure out who we are. Because when a relationship ends, we don't know who we are. We don't. We have blended with someone a lifestyle, a pattern, if you will, of connection and partnership. So when it ends, we have to reinvent the wheel, basically, and that's hard in the beginning. So usually I'll see people try to replace the person that is missing in action. And there's usually a series of maybe a little bit of mistakes there, or maybe it rushes too quickly and we're in the moment, right, of this will work, and yet when push comes to shove, it ends up being kind of a round, pounding a round peg into a square hole set of circumstances. So not always, but going within, embracing ourselves, discovering ourselves first before we just pair up with somebody else it's advisable, although the heart's going to want what the heart wants, so people figure it out in time, But, so I want to talk about, and I had this really cool person I was talking to yesterday, and she understood, and I know she listens to these, so hey, I won't mention your name, I'll keep you anonymous, but you're gonna know. I can say she was a Virgo. How's that? Okay, hint, hint, right? So she seemed to be aware of, and I admired her for this. She was aware that the narrative I'm going to get into today is love is like school, right? And she was very in tune to that, and I praised her for that because, and we talked about, the Disney sales pitch that we get. Not that I'm a hopeless romantic, so trust me, I'm not being negative about it, but, there's this one person, and then happily ever after, and there we go, right? But love is like school, and people, and they're part of our karmic lessons here, right? That's the part that, or the roles that we play with one another. And so when people enter our orbit, they could be the love of our life, they could be a test, they could be a short term, like an associate's degree, right? The 2-year thing. But once we've exchanged all the information in the textbooks and that in the relationship, it's possible that it, highly possible that it will come to an end. And I don't mean that in a dark, sad, scary way. It's like, it depends on who you pick and how many generous lessons that the two of you have to share with one another. Some people just show up with a bigger library, right? So like Beauty and the Beast, you know, tons of karmic textbooks to learn from one another. So there's no reason to leave. You'll stay because you're continuing to learn and love one another and grow and develop. And sometimes couples will integrate to procreate or whatever the case may be, and maybe they come into these Saturn returns are interesting too. I'm going to talk to you about those. They kind of force growth as well. So we'll have a Saturn return between the age of 27 and 30. So many times, whoever it was that you were so crazy about when you were 23 and you got married and you had kids and, you know, right out of college or whatever, you know, you hit that first Saturn return and you just roll over one morning. You don't even know who they are, right? And then it's hurtful because we're trying to maintain that vow that we took, right? And you may have outgrown one another, but this is okay. And for other couples, it's seamless. They still have the same karmic lessons to fulfill with one another, and the teachings and the balance, and so they end up okay. And then we hit another Saturn return between the age of 57 and 60. And this is when I see a lot of couples going, oh, no, you know, and so many times I'll encourage them to, you know, okay, let's just slow down a minute here. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's ride this wave through and see if, let's ride this wave through and see if maybe once you hit 61, 62, there may still be some common ground there, you know, for you guys to work with. But, so for those of you who are celebrating your Love Yourself vibe today, I send you much love and support. And for those of you couples, I see so many that I admire that have really stood the test of time because they have so much to learn from one another still. You know, nobody's doing it wrong. We're all doing it the way we're supposed to do it. You know, we don't want to stay in a relationship that's cruel or diminishing our value just to say we're in a relationship. We can't do that, you know. And with this pandemic that everyone's been challenged with, I've noticed a lot of clarity coming through for my clients. It's like power and flight mode too. Like I am so out of here. It was easier to like avoid it and evade it when there wasn't so much emphasis on one another, right? But this is a happy day. It's not just for couples. It's a recognition of, you know, loving our moms, loving our dads, loving our friends, sending them love, acknowledging, you know, our loved ones, our pets, what we're so grateful for. That's the entire picture that I see, you know? That's the entire picture. So, if you're single, treat yourself today, okay? Cook yourself a nice meal. Order, DoorDash, whatever. Soak in the tub. Send yourself love. Practice self-love today. If you're with someone, don't be shy. Exchange the values. Let's talk about the value system. Let's use this day to its greatest good. How's that sound? She's really sleepy, but we'll see. Scout, come here, come on. She says, "Oh, Mom, come on, come here, come on." Let me show you one of my many Valentines I have here. Come on up here. Come on, love dove. Oh, that's a good girl. Not over there. Come on here. Come on here. Come on here. Come on. Tell everybody Happy Valentine's Day today. Can you tell everybody Happy Valentine's Day? Oh, that feels so good. That's a good girl. Say Happy Valentine's Day. You're never alone. There's always someone who loves you. It's true. Good girl. Oh, that knock you for a loop a little bit? Oh, she says, "Oh, Mama, I'm tired." She's tired because she's bored, because it's very difficult. We've been walking in Home Depot because it's just too cold to walk outside for the time allotted to really get the energy moving within us. And so we've been experimenting. But next weekend, I guess it's supposed to reach, in the 30s or something. I don't know. That's gonna feel like a heat wave. That's for us here in the Midwest. So, all right, that's all I had to say today, you guys. Self-love first, okay? The political and the optics and all that, let's do our best to kind of broom that out of the cobwebs of our mind. We can start fresh. We're gonna build a better foundation for everyone to survive and thrive upon, and those are the things that we need to emulate now. Okay, I tell you to get out and get fresh air, but it's almost impossible, but not for everybody, because I have people that listen that live everywhere. So embrace that. All right, embrace nature. Keep yourself balanced. Bring in the Zen energy, okay? Stay well. Take your D3. Some people like to integrate elderberry into that. There's all kinds of immune boosting support that we can tap into to stay well. So let's keep that in mind. And I don't know, you guys. Let's glide through this day. The planets were kind of wonky anyways this weekend. I kind of chalked that up to this constant snowing and aggravation. And there's a little bit of aggravation going on. So let's stay stable, all right? And remember to love yourself on this day. Don't get lost in the shuffle, all right? Okay, all right. That's all I had to say. Okay. All right. Mind, body, spirit. I'll talk to you next week. Mercury retrograde will be out of our hair. Energy levels will be up. It's almost spring, you guys. Hang in there. Okay. All right. Love to you. Take care. Next week, 11/11.